Have you ever heard of a gospel that contains pure sayings of Jesus but has no mentions of the cross, no miracles, no resurrection? A gospel that was hidden for over 1,600 years, buried in the desert, and deliberately removed from the Bible. Why? Because this gospel taught that God lives not above you but within you, and that was dangerous. This is the forgotten gospel of Thomas, and today we will uncover why it was erased and what forbidden truths it still whispers. Friends, the Gospel of Thomas is not a story. It's not a narrative of Jesus' life. It's a collection of 114 short, piercing sayings like Zen koans, Shiv Sutras, and Upanishads, each one a doorway to inner realization. It begins with a sentence that almost sounds like a dare. Whoever finds the meaning of these words will not taste death. These are not teachings for belief, they are keys for awakening. Friends, now here is where it gets wild. This gospel was completely unknown to the modern world until 1945. It was discovered in Nag Hammadi, Egypt, in a sealed jar with 12 other ancient codices. And what was inside these jars? A 1600-year-old Coptic manuscript of the Gospel of Thomas, buried, preserved, hidden. But why was it hidden? And more importantly, why was it never included in the Bible? To understand why the Gospel of Thomas was removed, we have to go back to the early days of Christianity, a time of chaos, power struggles, and theological wars. In 325 AD, the Roman Emperor Constantine called a council, the famous Council of Nicaea. At that meeting, church leaders decided what would go in the Bible and what would be thrown out. Only 4 Gospels were chosen: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Everything else was labeled as heretical, dangerous, or false. But here is what's strange. Thomas was not removed because it was fake. It was removed because it was too real. It didn't tell people to worship Jesus. It told them to become like Jesus. Let me say that again. The Gospel of Thomas didn't promote religion. It revealed how to access Christ consciousness without the need for churches, priests, or external authority. That was a threat. Let's read a few actual sayings from the Gospel. Saying 3. If those who lead you say to you, "See, the kingdom is in the sky," then the birds of the sky will precede you. If they say, "It is in the sea," then the fish will precede you. Rather, the kingdom is inside of you and it is outside of you. This flips everything. No longer is God a being out there. You are the temple, you are the doorway, you are the witness. And saying 70. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. This is not religion. This is inner alchemy. This is shadow work, integration, liberation. This is the Jesus that sounds more like Shiva, Lao Tzu, or Buddha than a Sunday sermon. Now, let me share some lesser known facts you won't find in most videos. Fact number 1. Friends, did you know Thomas is not a first name? It's a title. In Aramaic, Thomas means twin, and in Greek, Didymus means twin. So, Didymus Judas Thomas means Judas the twin. But twin of whom? Many mystics believe Thomas was called the twin because he mirrored Jesus' consciousness, not biologically, spiritually, like Arjuna to Krishna, like disciple to master, until the disciple becomes the master. Fact number 2. It doesn't mention crucifixion or resurrection. No cross, no tomb. Why? Because this gospel is not about Jesus dying for you, it's about you dying to your ego. The resurrection is not a historical event, it's an inner transformation. You awaken and you realize you were never born, you never died. You are light. And here comes fact number 3. Its structure mirrors Eastern teachings. Friends, the Gospel of Thomas reads like Shiva Sutras, Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, and Zen koans. It's not about storytelling, it's about direct transmission, direct realization. Each verse is meant to awake your system. For example, in saying 77, it says, "Split a piece of wood and I'm there. Lift up the stone and you will find me there." That's not dogma. That's non-duality. Everything is divine. And here is why this matters now more than ever. In a world divided by religion, politics, and fear, this gospel whispers a secret. You are not separate from God. You never were. It invites you to turn inward, to sit in silence, to rediscover the kingdom within. No middlemen, no institutions, just you and the light you carry. This is the path of mystics, the same path walked by Rumi, Kabir, and Ramana Maharshi. So why was this gospel removed? Because it didn't create followers, it created masters. Because it didn't make you fear God, it made you realize you are the extension of God. Because it taught what every awakened being has ever whispered. Look within, you are that. That's dangerous to systems that depend on your dependence. But to a seeker, it's the ultimate liberation. Dear seekers, if this message moved something inside you, then you are ready. Ready to decode the lost verses, to awaken what's asleep within you, and to walk the path not of belief but of direct knowing. Subscribe if you are ready to awaken. Comment below, "I am the light," and share this with someone who is ready to meet the real Jesus, not the one they were taught to worship, but the one who came to remind you, you are not just human, you are the mirror of the divine. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.